So how are you doing? And I ask this because right now we're in the season of joy. And it's a very, very important thing for us to realize. It's a foundational thing about life. Is if we're going to do something, if we're going to engage in our life in some way or other, there needs to be this whole sense of joy about it. Otherwise, why bother? If you're just going to go through the motions of something, why bother? So the 58th gateway, which we're going to look at right now, is all about embracing joy. And as in this time, the sun is going through gateway number 58. And this is one of these hexagrams that is a double. The bottom trigram is solid, solid, broken. It's called Tui, and it's the lake, and it's the joy, and it's the fun. And the top trigram is the same. So it's an echo, doubled. So this is really a great time. And you'll see in a season of the world, there are so many different societies that are celebrating at this time. And just to see, yeah, the foundation of it all is joy. And it's really worthwhile remembering to have this joy in our life. And I often tease people when I see they have the 58 in their design, particularly for generators and manifesting generators by human design, that, you know, there are certain points in time in life where there's a new start. You wake up in the morning, there's a whole day ahead of you. And we know with generators and manifesting generators, the moment their feet touch the ground coming out of bed, they're off. And if there's that possibility of remembering before you get too far into your day, you know, just before your feet touch the ground, just before you get in motion, just ask yourself, where am I coming from? Where am I in myself at this moment in time? Am I, oh Lord, another day, goodness gracious, you know? Is it good morning, God? Or is it good God morning? Right? Difference. So I just say, you know, particularly for generators, manifesting generators, but for all of us in a sense, if you're going to get started in something, make sure you're coming into it from a place of internal joy. And just to see, you know, that start off on the right foot and all kinds of things can change. So these are the pages. We're calling this Joyous Vitality. And if you look at the little brown marking at the top there, the image of the hexagram there, as you'll see, it's solid, solid, broken, solid, solid, broken. So it's a double. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, we'll see the channel goes from the root center at the bottom, touches across to the spleen on the left side there, and the spleen, the center of health and well-being. And the potential on the other end of that channel there is gateway number 18, which we've looked at already. This was one of the spleen gateways, well, the first one actually. And the 18 is this gate, it's a gate I call improving. And I've also said, you know, on the extreme level of it, we can call it the go to hell gate, because people with the 18 particularly find out, you know, most of what you've been told about life is not true. It's just not correct. Certainly not on your terms. And there can be this whole thing through life of just kind of wanting to bring things up to speed, to improve it. And there's the thing, it's collective. This particular channel is collective. It's not personal. It's about improving the systems and the world around you. And so there's this whole thing with this channel, the 58 gives it that sense of the potential for joy in bringing about improvements and upgrades in the world around us, rather than seeing it's a personal thing. Oh my goodness, you know, life is so complicated. I'm always in a state of overwhelm, and I've always got this sense I've got to improve myself. And it's not about that. It's just about improving things in the world. This 58th gateway is the beginning of what we call the stream of mastery. And the whole thing about mastery is, in the end, is find out what you love to do, you know, and commit to it and do it really well, you know, practice over and over and over again. And that is the thing with this stream of mastery, is practicing. And so the foundation of the whole thing is joy. We see it's in the root center at the bottom of the chart. And the root center is really what connects us into Mother Earth. So I guess all of us have this sense, maybe we're not from here, you know, maybe we're just living out an experience here on planet Earth. But being on planet Earth, there are certain conditions here. You know, Mother Earth wants us to succeed. She wants the best for all things, for all living things here. And so the 58 really gives us that joy, that possibility, what I'm going to call the vital spark that gets us up and moving in life, gets us up into bringing about benefit and beauty. And again, being in the logic collective circuitry here, bringing about an assured future by making the right steps. And the first step of all is making a joyous step, like being involved, being clear, I'm engaging, appreciating the great power and delight to have and express joy in life. I think all of us know when we have that sense of joy within us, anything seems to be possible. And so there it is. This is the what this particular hexagram is all about. The vital spark to all things is joy. And so we have the commentary here. At the root of all growth and endeavor enters the vital spark of life that can be described as joyfulness. There it is. The vital spark of life is, we've got this tremendous possibility here, this extraordinary thing that we've been given called life, and these amazing outfits to be in, to have this experience of life. You ask physics or physicists, how does this all work? How does the body hold itself together? They have no idea at all. So we're in the middle of this extraordinary mystery called life. And the 58 gives us that vital spark. Get on, have an amazing time with it. In all of life's affairs, joyfulness exists in helping us find the subtle internal balance between giving and receiving. We know perfectly well when we're in that balance in life. And it's just this joy will bubble up in us. I mean, you only have to look at children at this time of the year to see decorations around the festivities or whatever, or parties or gatherings with friends. Joy is the natural way to be. And just as we get a bit older, we kind of think, well, maybe life's a bit more complicated. But maybe it isn't, after all. So let's have a look at the lines here. And as always, we come in on the first line. First line has this quality of foundation. What's the foundation of joy? What is this thing about the connection to Mother Earth through the root center here, and brings us into this potential of mastery? When I talk about mastery, it's about accomplishing something on such a level that there is no thought required in it. It's just the presence is so involved in it. And we know people that have mastered, for example, a musical instrument. They play. It's not like they're having to think, what note I'm going to play next. It's just they have that flexibility. They've practiced so much, or they're so in tune with the sounds that they're producing, that the music takes them. And the same can be applied into all kinds of different things, in building, architecture, machinery, all kinds of different things. This mastery can be applied. And the beautiful thing about mastery, the foundation we're saying is joy. I love doing this thing. I'm really caught up in this thing. And mastery, once you've accomplished mastery in one thing, you can put mastery into anything. It's just about learning how to get to that space. And I'm just saying, it begins with this vital spark here. So first line here, harmonizing, aligning your life with your spontaneous, cheerful nature. How about that? The joy is just there, spontaneous and cheerful nature. We've been told about human design, there really is no choice in life. The thing's all laid out in front of us. I'm not a subscriber to that point of view. And one of the things I have to say is, in the sense of life is about the potential to expand our consciousness. There are so many different realms and levels of consciousness that we can tune into. And so the 58 really gives us a choice, a very foundational choice. In the beginning of anything, like when we wake up in the morning, or when something different is going to change and move into our life, we have a choice. Am I going to have fun? Am I going to be joyous with this? Am I going to engage with it? Am I really going to be involved? Am I going to bring that vital spark with me? Or am I just going to be miserable? And that to me is the choice in life. Am I going to have a great life? Am I going to have a very full-on, whatever life wants to deal out to me, I'm going to play with it? Or am I going to be miserable and just downhearted and complaining and a victim? And the 58 gives us that possibility. So catch as much as you can the vitality of the season as the sun goes through gate 58. Spontaneous, cheerful nature is the foundation of it. Just as an experiment, be in a situation where there are other people around you. Maybe you catch somebody's eye, smile. See what happens. Do they smile back? Do they pretend like they're not noticing you? Or maybe, oh, yeah, it's okay to smile. It's okay to transmit that sense of joy, that sense of fun into the world. By living in freedom from doubts and concerns, you bring joy to yourself and others. And there it is, the true foundation that Mother Earth is here to support us, to guide us, to lift us, to open up all kinds of possible things for us in our lifetime. With Venus energy here, you access your inner harmony, you promote joy for one and all. What is it? You know, that inner harmony, that inner sense of, yes, I'm here, I belong in this life, I'm engaged in what I'm doing, and I'm just buzzing. That inner harmony promotes joy for one and all. It's contagious. That's why I say just a simple smile can change all kinds of things, let alone start laughing and see if that's contagious as well. The moon's energy here, your changeable moods cycle through joy and sorrow quite naturally. There it is. You know, sometimes we're full of joy, sometimes we're full of sadness. It's not like they're contrary. It's just they're different expressions of energy. And there it is. You know, we're not here to walk around with a dull face our whole lifetime. We are here to play. The second line here, looking onwards. Right? It's not looking outwards or inwards. It's looking onwards. It's observing. It's watching. It's witnessing. Attunement to your inner joy attracts enjoyable activities. Fancy that. Yeah? It's all's well within. Watch what happens on the outside. We're always presented with this idea that the outside is our reality. In actual fact, we're the ones that are having this experience. We're watching this movie. We're watching life unfold around us, but we're the one that's having the experience. We're sensing all these different changes that are going on here. And so the inner joy attracts enjoyable activities. Your inner calm creates external joy. Or you may just seek out thrills as a means of escape. I guess there's a bit of an escapist in all of us sometimes. We really, something looks a little onerous, we don't necessarily want to be doing it. And all right, well, let's just divert our attention. And particularly these days, you know, we're all wandering around with these little handheld computers called phones, smartphones. And it's so easy to, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to do my job. I'll just kind of do a little social media stuff or whatever. And here with Venus, you relish a harmonious balance or harmonic balance between internal joy and external stimulations. What is on the outside is on the inside. What is on the inside is on the outside. That is the natural way of the second line, is just being part of all this, being within it all. And Uranus here, attracting the unusual, as Uranus always does, you easily find activities that can lack apparently lasting values. So, is that an essential thing, that everything that we engage with has a lasting value? But let's just say in the stream of mastery, if we're seeking to master something, there has to be a dedication to it in some way or other. So just to be watchful about getting pulled off track. The third line here, exciting. The draw of worldly enjoyments requires great inner selectivity. You know, third lines always have this thing of taking off on a tangent somewhere, trying something different, you know, going beyond. Nobody's gone there before. And so it's just saying, in this world where there are so many distractions on offer here, so many potential fun things, the third line has to be really selective. What is it that really draws my attention? Of course, with human design, we're always saying, trust your type and authority, see what comes from that. Intense excitement exists within you, or is reflected through a promise of worldly pleasures. Right? The world has all kinds of pleasures for us. All kinds of amazing things can bring us joy. And in a sense, you can always question this thing of what it means to be happy. You know, the joy and the happiness together. It's an inside thing, happiness. it might be said that somebody else makes us happy, but who's the one that's feeling happy? Right? And then that same person can make us feel really sad, or that same situation could have the opposite effect. So happiness really is an inside job. And this internal joy is a very, very important thing to recognize. Here with Uranus energy, your innovative nature can give you great diversions that electrify your very core. Yeah, life is full of extraordinary phenomena. And this third line is generally the first one in there. This just says, what's next? Where can I go now? The other side of it, the Mars energy, restless and fascinated by worldly delights. You race from one distraction to another. And I guess all of us have seen that possibility of just chasing around the place, one thing after another. There's always a different act in the fairground. Oh, we should see this. Oh, we could try that. What about this over here? And yes, there's something wonderful about tasting all these different things that are on offer for us. But again, in the end, is that all coming from an inner joy, or is it just the outside distraction is so intense and it's very hard to avoid? We come to the fourth line called being spontaneous. Quick recognition of joyful stimulations. Just that thing, you can tune in right away. Is this vibrating with me on a level that I get this inner sensation of joy? Am I being drawn into it? Am I recognizing it? You find strictly beneficial incentives, or indulge everything and become drained of energy. There's that thing, there's so many things on offer. What is it that really calls to us? And for each of us, it's different. The joy is potentially there. The joy is an internal thing. But we all have to work out for ourselves, what is it in life, who is it in life that really calls to us? What do our type and authority tell us to engage with? And Neptune here, you may get lost in which stimulations to select and make choices that exhaust you. So this fourth line here is saying there's a great potential to kind of go overboard on things if you're not careful. Being spontaneous, absolutely, but it's a quick recognition of what it is that's really that stimulation that brings joy. And I know when all of us get to consider that for a bit, we'll recognize, yeah, there are some things that naturally bring us joy, and there are other things that really are not on our wavelength at all. Fifth line, being discreet, being clear in all your inner needs and wants. So the fifth line always has this ability to kind of look outwards and see what it is that other people might be seeking in this life. You know, how to facilitate joy for them, how to bring about this spark into other people's lives. And we know about fifth lines here, they have that great capacity to guide and lead people in all different sorts of ways. And here the fifth line is saying, look, yeah, I can pronounce joy into everybody's life. However, the bottom line is, am I working on everybody else's behalf and doing things on their behalf? Or am I coming from something that's clear within me, because it's my life and I'm living my life, and I'm putting it up for great benefit for others? And so there it is. The line is called being discreet. Always that inner reality check for the fifth line before providing for everybody else, rescuing everybody else. You're either clear in your associations or tend to trust everyone and end up being misled. All of us can get that sense of what it's like to be misled. Oh my goodness, you know, I put all this energy out and actually it was not in tune with what was really needed here. And I feel burned out, I feel misled, I feel taken advantage of. But in the end, you know, it was me that subscribed to it in the first place. I allowed myself to be taken advantage of. And that's not what life is really about. It's about recognizing, you know, I come here to live my life, can be of great benefit to other people. However, got to live life on my terms, got to trust my own type and authority. The moon's energy here, your openness to others is tempered by your facility to watch out for yourself at all times. Moon always goes through all kinds of different seasons, light and dark, and it's about recognizing, you know, in the needs of the moment, how am I putting forward? Am I actually in tune with what's coming through me, or am I catering to everybody else, what I consider to be everybody else's ideas and presumptions of what I'm going to do? And here the sun's energy, your bright nature trusts everyone openly and is let down regularly if you're not careful. Okay, again, it's something of that same energy of just feeling like, wow, I really kind of overstepped the mark here. I got involved in things considering everybody else's needs before getting clear in myself what it was I was here to put out. And we come to the 6th line, top of the hexagram, and has that overview of everything that's gone on in the hexagram. And remember, we're talking about joy and vital stimulation in life, and that push from within ourselves to engage in life and bring that joy into the world, bring that vital spark with us. And the line here is called attracting, drawing to yourself all manner of stimulations. So, yeah, 6th line has all these different things coming, so many potpourri of possibilities, all these different things that could be included. Being caught up in outer distractions as a way of life, you're subjected to the whims of others. And again, 6 lines are always in that place to be able to oversee or administer for other people, to sort out other people's issues and problems and difficulties for them. And here the potential difficulty is getting caught up in other people's whims. They don't really know what they want. But they're causing complications. And the 6th line says, oh, well, maybe I should get in here and help them sort it out. The moon's energy here, if you link your inner world to outer stimulations, you do not lose track of your own joy. And you'll know if you've got a 6th line here or you've got 6 lines in your chart, it's an amazing thing to be able to sit back from life and sense that joy. That you're in an environment where things are just playing out and you've come to that inner acceptance. And here it is saying, being caught up, if you link your inner world and outer stimulations, you do not lose track of your own joy. What an amazing thing, to engage in life from that place of joy. Mercury here, the thrill of excitement is so strong that you can get lost in it and become wildly active. So all of us from time to time probably go racing around, wondering, where on earth are we going next? Where's life calling us next? And the 58 with the 6th line, it's that natural thing. Yeah, joy is an extraordinary energy to be putting out into the world. Seeing joy in people's faces, seeing joy in the world around us can be absolutely the most amazing blessing. And so I say, in this time, while the sun's going through the 58, let's indulge in this joy. But let's carry it also further in our lives as well. And remember, when we're going to get out of bed in the morning and there's a big day ahead of us, tune in for a moment or two. Just think, where am I coming from? Am I dreading the day? Or it's like, oh, it's going to be so tough, or it's going to be so boring, it's the same. Or are we going to go kind of tune into, where's that joy in me? And if I can find that joy in me, and I put my first step out of bed and I'm going to start moving into something, what is it that joy is taking me towards? How am I going to make this day different? How am I going to open up this day on the right foot so this joy that I start my day with can expand and expand into the world and life around me? All right.